And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, Donald Trump reshapes the race for the White House with a blistering speech exposing rival Hillary Clinton's numerous ongoing scandals. Now, here are some of the highlights from Donald Trump's major address.
Hillary Clinton may be the most corrupt person ever to seek the presidency of the United States. She ran the State Department like her own personal hedge fund, doing favors for oppressive regimes and many others, and really many others, in exchange for cash, pure and simple, folks. Hillary Clinton, and as you know, most people know, she's a world-class liar. She believes she's entitled to the office. Her campaign slogan is, "I'm with her." You know what my response is to that? I'm with you, the American people.
Joining us now is 2016 presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, John.
Hard-hitting speech, personal hedge fund, maybe the most corrupt person ever to seek the office of the presidency, world-class liar. You went case and point by point. The reaction has been very positive among those that say finally a Republican candidate is willing to say this about the Clintons. What's the feedback you've gotten?
Well, we've had great reviews. It's been amazing, actually. I've done a lot of speeches, and I've gotten some very good reviews, but this one got really great reviews. People liked it. I think they liked the tone. They liked a lot of things about it, and they liked what I said, and they know it's true. Although CNN, as you know, you probably saw, they got caught trying to say that a couple of the points weren't correct, but it turned out that they were very correct. In fact, more correct than I even knew. So that was pretty embarrassing for CNN right now. They have egg in their face, but you people covered it very accurately.
Yeah, you know, you did also, we've talked a lot about immigration and the refugee crisis. You were even correct in saying Hillary Clinton wants a 550% increase in the number of refugees coming into the country. The list has now gotten longer. Our CIA director, our FBI director, our assistant FBI director, our former envoy to defeat ISIS, our national director of intelligence, our Homeland Security, House Homeland Security chairman have all said ISIS will literally infiltrate that population. We saw it in Paris and we saw it in Belgium. Why is Hillary willing to gamble with the lives of the American people? And do you think this will be at the forefront of voters' minds in November?
Well, number one, it's a question you have to ask her why somebody would do this. It's the Trojan horse, and frankly, these people are coming in, and some of them are bad. We have no idea where they come from, who they are. They're not properly vetted. You know, a lot of the people that are on your show and a lot of other shows and in a lot of newspapers, I'm reading all over the place, that you really can't vet them. I mean, they don't know anything about them. They have no paperwork in some cases, and they're pouring into the country. We have no idea. So you see what happened last weekend, how disastrous that was, and you see in Orlando, and you see what's going on, and that was one person. We have thousands of people coming in, and, boy, I'll tell you what, we're being set up for something that's not going to be good. It's not going to end well, that I can tell you.
Well, I don't think it's going to end well, and the people that are allowing this to happen, in the end, if somebody's killed, I would argue would have blood on their hands because they're not listening to our intelligence officials. You clearly are. I want to ask you about this. All this money, you mentioned $153 million given speeches to lobbyists, CEOs, foreign governments. By the way, over 1,000 foreign donations to the Clinton Foundation and elsewhere. Here's my question. When she gives a speech to a Wall Street firm or a big bank or a financial institution, insurance company, or a foreign government, do you think she's compromised at that point?
She's compromised, and in fact, she's totally compromised, and I can imagine what the speeches say, but for some reason, you know, Bernie Sanders has been trying to get these speeches now for 6 months. He can't get them. And she, for some reason, won't let him out. I don't know what's in these speeches that can be so bad, but she won't let him out. We'll probably shame her into letting her out, just like, you know, when I was hitting her on radical Islamic terror and talking about the term radical Islam, she said, all of a sudden, I guess you saw 2 or 3 weeks ago, I will mention it, I will mention it. I don't think she's mentioned it yet, but she will. We shamed her into that. I think we'll probably shame her into giving whatever she said, but for whatever reason, she doesn't want to give those speeches. And I don't know, there's something going on there, because Bernie Sanders could not, over a long period of time, get her to give the speeches. And he wanted them very badly. But she made a fortune with this stuff, and what's the purpose of it? What are people getting for it? And you look at it, and there's something very strange. The whole thing is very strange. Frankly, she's very strange.
Okay. And I don't disagree with you, but let me ask you this question. One of the things that came out this week by the Media Research Center is they actually compared the media coverage of both you and Hillary Clinton. There's tremendous bias that they've been able to document. One of the things you brought up in your speech, you said her decisions have spread death, destruction, and terrorism everywhere she touched. And then you pointed out, since 2009, since she was sworn in, it's a very different world. And you talked about Libya, you talked about Iran,
right.
You talked about Iraq, you talked about pretty much every corner of the world, the Russian reset, China. Can you point to a single instance where you would say she is successful? Is there anything that you could point to? None.
Well, they say Osama bin Laden, but if you were sitting there, or if a 10-year-old was sitting in the chair, frankly, and they said, we have a chance to get him, you know, the military did a good job, and they went in there and they got him. And you know, I mean, that's about the only thing they can talk about. And frankly, anybody would have made the same decision. Who wouldn't have made the decision? They walk in, they say they have them. Now, the question is, do you bomb them out or do you go in and get them? I guess the third is leave them alone. So nobody's going to say that. So it's a question of one or the two. So I think it's, you know, look, I guess give them credit for that, but I can't give them much, because I think anybody sitting in that position would have said it, and maybe you would have had him a long time ago. You know, he was in Pakistan. We give tremendous amounts of money to Pakistan. Why is he in Pakistan? They certainly knew about it. Why aren't they telling us about the fact that he's been there probably for many years? Why don't they tell us? So, you know, you could say, why didn't we get him a long time ago? But that would be the only thing. I think she's done nothing well, and certainly the president has done very little well. I mean, you look at the Iran deal, you look at where we are. Look at the world today. The Middle East is just a mess, what's happened over there. And
well, let me
he may not have started it, but boy, did he do a poor job of trying to get out of Iraq, you know, by not leaving some behind. I didn't want to go into Iraq in the first place, but by not leaving some behind just to keep it a little bit stable. It's a mess anyway, but the way he got out of there, Sean, was disgraceful.
Well, I mean, we did have Mosul and Ramadi and Fallujah and Tikrit under control, and George W. Bush warned, don't leave too early, you're going to lose it. It created a vacuum for ISIS to take control with the financial resources of oil. The last number of nights on the program, I've been really focused in on the money she has been taking. Now, she claims she's the great champion of women's rights. She's the great champion of gay and lesbian rights, LGBT rights. She claims that she's for religious freedom. But I'll put up on the side screen here, if you look at Saudi Arabia, where gays can be executed and women are told what to wear and they can't drive a car, and men decide if they go to school or work, well, up to $25 million to the Clinton Foundation, $10 million to the Clinton Library, and then you've got Kuwait and the UAE, and you've got Brunei, and you've got Qatar, and you've got Oman. What is your reaction? She seems to have, with her policies with oil, she certainly is not making America energy independent. She doesn't want coal. She doesn't want fracking. She doesn't want drilling. And secondly, she's never criticized these countries that have given her all of this money that oppress women, gays, lesbians, Christians, and Jews. You can't build a temple or a Christian church there. What is your reaction to that? And what do you say to women's groups and those that have attacked you on the issue of women for supporting her for taking this money?
First of all, she should give the money back. It's tens of millions of dollars. She should give the money back. She shouldn't be allowed to take the money. It's ridiculous. And then as far as women, some of these countries, you know, they literally call it, they enslave women. I mean, they want to enslave women. And the LGBT community and the gay community is, I mean, they kill gays. They kill them. They push them off buildings. They throw them off the roofs of buildings. And she's taking money from them. Not only that, she's letting them come into our country, okay? You know, it's a double. She's taking massive amounts of money, but they come into our country at a rate that's far greater than Obama's allowing them. You know, she wants many more to come in than Obama's allowing, and he's already breaking records. So we have a situation that is going to end in a very, very disastrous way, in my opinion. She should give back the money, and how can women endorse somebody that's not only taking money, but also allowing people to come into our country from these various places that believe in Sharia, that that, you know, believe in what they believe over there.
But don't you believe...
Because what's happening now...
If you grow up under Sharia, aren't those the values the antithesis of our great republic? In other words, if you grow up thinking you could tell women how to dress and that they can't drive a car, you know, how do we ascertain, is it even possible to ascertain whether or not you come here because you want freedom and you want to leave oppression, or do you want to come here and proselytize and indoctrinate and create a theocracy here? How do you ever ascertain that?
Well, I said in my speech yesterday, we want to take people into this country, and we do. I want people to come in. I want people to come in tremendous waves, but they have to come in legally. But they have to love our country. They have to really just love what we stand for and what we represent. And a lot of the people coming in, I mean, if they're into the world of Sharia, you're talking about from a different planet. Now, the way they feel about women, the way they feel about gays, the way they feel about what we stand for, and we're taking in thousands and thousands of people. Not a good situation.
Let me ask you this. We saw the tragedy, the terror attack in Orlando. We saw San Bernardino. We saw Brussels. We saw Paris. We saw Chattanooga. We saw what happened in Boston. So there's been this mysterious reluctance and resistance to say the words radical Islamic terrorism by both the president and Hillary Clinton. So my question to you is this. So now we have this attack. They put out the 9/11 transcripts, and it's, I pledge allegiance to redacted, I pledge allegiance to redacted, may God, and I would bet any amount of money it really said Allah, protect them on behalf of redacted. And then our Attorney General's answer is, well, our most effective response to terror and to hatred is unity, compassion, and love. Is that the answer to radical Islam?
Well, that was a whole big thing. Now, as you know, they were forced to put it out because the public went wild on this one, and they were forced to put out, I guess, whatever he said. Look, this is a maniac. This is somebody that comes from a different planet, as far as we're concerned. It's a shame there wasn't somebody in there, a guard or somebody, maybe an employee that had a gun, so they could have done something before he killed all these people and wounded so badly so many people. But it's really too bad that an employee or a guard or somebody didn't have a gun where they could, you know, the bullets could have gone the other way. But what a horrible situation. And, you know, to think that we're living in a time like this where people can't go to a club or they can't get into an airplane or they can't do anything like it used to be. But we're going to bring back strength. We're going to bring back toughness. We're going to bring back vigilance. You know, I'm saying we're going to make America great again, Sean. That's what we have to do. This is horrible, the way we're all living. And this is a worldwide problem that's being unleashed by weak leadership.
That's right. Stay right there.